Happy Halloween! And welcome to BrickScale Studio! Welcome to a very happy Halloween episode of BrickScale Studio!
Okay, enough of that. Happy Halloween. I hope you have a wonderful and festive and safe evening. And so today on the channel, I just wanted to do a quick review of an older set from the Monster Fighters theme from 2012. We have the Monster Fighters Haunted House. This was a great set, and let's get right into it. This is the Monster Fighters Haunted House. This is set 10228. This is a retired set. It came out September of 2012 and retired in December of 2014. There are 2,064 pieces, and we have 3 manuals. And technically there are 5 bags. Bag number 1 includes all of these little mini builds. It has our minifigures and then a bunch of little mini builds. And so we don't actually get into building the haunted house until bag number 2. And there are multiple bags of number 2. So these are all of the mini builds for bag number 1. And the minifigures here are quite great. The cool thing about these minifigures is the ghosts and the vampires, they glow in the dark. So I'll show you that here right now. So very cool. So let me get all of these mini builds cleared away, and then we will move into bag number 2. Okay, here we are at the start of bag 2. Now, since this is an older set that I had already put together and then disassembled, I sorted through the pieces and I tried to recreate the bag numbers. Now again, as I mentioned, aside from bag number 1, all the other bags have multiple bags per number. So we're dealing with a lot of pieces per bag. For example, this is just bag number 2, and it is a huge pile of parts that barely fits on this tray. So this could be a little challenging trying to find pieces and whatnot, but we are going to try to make it work. The number 2 bag is the biggest one, so bags 3, 4, and 5 should be a little more manageable. But let's get into this and let's get started with the build. Okay, so that is it for bag number 1. That was a lot. So we basically finished the first level of the haunted house. So let me kind of show you here. So we got like the front porch, the little side area here, and then the stairwell, and then this opens like so to reveal. So we have this fireplace that kind of straddles the hinge. We have a downstairs area, and then we put some of those accessories that we made in for bag 1. I mean, this is bag 2. I don't know if I said bag 1 or bag 2, but this is definitely bag 2. These little accessories were the little mini builds for bag 1. All right, so with that, we are finished with bags 1 and 2, and we're finished with instruction manual 1, and we'll be moving on to book number 2, which I will tell you is quite a bit thinner than book 1, and book 3 for that matter. Pretty thin. So let's get into bag number 3. All right, before we get too deep into bag 3, I just wanted to give you some evidence of the brittle brown. This was a 1x1 plate that I tried to put on at some point during the bag 2 build, and yeah, it just cracked in half as soon as I touched it. So luckily I had some, you always have these pieces extra in a set anyway, so I just saved those and I just plucked one out of there and we made it work. But the brittle brown is real. So let's get into bag 3. As we get into this time lapse, in case you don't know what brittle brown is, back in the day, older Lego sets, and I'm not really sure if it was the plastic they were using or the coloring they were using to make it brown, but over time, those pieces became very brittle. Now, allegedly, they've since changed the formula, so that doesn't happen now. But these older sets that have these reddish-brown pieces, they can be very brittle and break. And so that's what happened to that piece that I showed you. I tried to push it onto the stud, and it just snapped in half. Luckily, I made it through the build without any more casualties, so that's a good thing. So, on with the time lapse. Okay, that is the end of bag number 3. So we have the second floor of the haunted house completed. So I'll just do a quick little... So there's sort of the front facade. The side. Kind of the back, not really much going on. And then the side here. And then if we open it up, all right, so this is going to be hard to see from this angle, but we have the inside, and we've added more of those details that we constructed in bag 1. So we've completed up here, put some minifigures in. All right, so let's close that up. I'm going to set that right there, and then we're going to move on to bag number 4. Okay, that is it for bag number 4. So we are on the home stretch, moving into bag number 5, where we're going to put this final tower piece on here, and then we'll take a look at the build. Okay, so that is the finished haunted house, which again, I know you're not going to be able to see very much, so we're going to flip the camera around. But I'm going to set this aside because I did want to show you the last part of the manual is building sort of this front gate. And I already had that completed. When I built this set years ago, I apparently just did not take this apart. So I have it already completed. So here it is right here. And so you can put this in front of the house, sort of however you want to do it. Kind of like so, or, you know. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll take a closer look. Here is the completed Monster Fighter house. Set number 10228. I think this is a great build. The one thing I will say, for being a 12-year-old set, this came out again in September of 2012. I'm going to say this is super detailed for 12 years ago. If you've collected Lego for any number of time, you know that the further back in time we get, the sort of the less detailed things are. Things are a little more rudimentary. But this is something I can almost see coming out today. It is super detailed. One of the, I guess, one of the things that makes it really cool is the level of detail. But then what makes it kind of tedious at times is the level of detail. For example, like we put, on this second row, we put 27 of those pieces on there, and you know, it was a little tedious. And then we had all the wrench pieces and things for the railings, which again, a little tedious, but at the end, it really contributes to the look of the build. I mean, again, for a 12-year-old set, this is super detailed. So let's just take a quick look at some of the components. This gate piece is sort of a separate build, and it can just pull off to the side. So here we have the front with this nice front porch. We've got the 4 sort of zombie faces for the top of the posts on the porch. We've got broken shutters. We've got boards over the windows. We've got these ghosts hanging out. And then we've got these windows with the nice pediments on the top. Very cool. We turn it around to the side. We have a little side entrance and a little sort of tumbleweed there. Again, the broken shutters, the boarded up windows. We move to the back. Not super exciting. And then we move to the other side. And again, we have this chimney detail and then some more boarded up windows. That chimney is very cool. So this hinges and opens up sort of like a doll's house. So it's not a modular building, but there is an interior, which we'll look at in a second, but that all hinges off of this chimney element. So again, if we turn this around, very cool, and then we can open it up. And again, this sort of hinged fireplace and chimney, when you open the model, you can swing this fireplace around so it lines up with this chimney element. So down here on the first floor, we have sort of an entryway, and there's a little Frankenstein figure. And then we have the second floor with Dracula's bride with some detailing in there. There's a little spider right here. And then we have the attic, which just is a bunch of storage space. We also have this cool ladder that you can pull a tab on the side, and it will flop down, and you can, you know, for the minifigures to get up to the attic area. And then over here, again, we have more attic space with a bunch of storage of stuff. And then here we have, I guess, Dracula's room with Dracula, a bed, some other details in there. And then down here we have a kitchen with another little minifig. Of course, we close this back up. And I'm constantly knocking this little tumbleweed. And I don't know if you can see like when it's really dark in there, you probably can't see, but when I close that back up, that little fireplace hinges and goes right into place, and it's very cool. And then, of course, who could forget the two ghosts that we get? And those do glow in the dark. So let me just show you that really quick. If we turn out the lights. So very cool. I mean, we already saw these. I showed the picture at the beginning of the video. Also, this was part of a theme back in 2012 called Monster Fighters. And there were a whole line of sets. So I'll throw up a picture here. So this is what the additional sets were for Frankenstein's monster, the creature from the Black Lagoon, werewolf, mummy, zombies. There was a separate Dracula's castle. There was a Dracula sort of hearse vehicle. And you can see they're kind of, they're a little more rudimentary, like kind of what we would expect from Lego sets 12 years ago. That Dracula's castle, it's a full play set. It's a completely open back. And so it's almost kind of like, we had those different individual play sets, and they were kind of like for the kids and maybe the older sort of preteen teenagers. And then we had this haunted house that was sort of for the adults. It was the adult set. So it was a very popular set at the time. It continues to be popular. Obviously, it is retired long ago. 10 years ago, it retired. But people still look for it on the secondary market. It still sells. And so, yeah, it's a super popular set. So that was the Monster Fighters Haunted House. What a great set. I'm so glad that I have it back in my collection. It was one of those sets I had in my storage unit. If you watched the behind the scenes video from several weeks ago, that was definitely one of the sets that I recovered, and I'm glad that I have it built and on display in my Lego studio. So without belaboring the point any further, I'm sure you have trick-or-treating to do, and so we will say farewell for now. But until we see each other again, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I will see you very soon.